Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Reserved Investments. So it would appear we have some interesting record-breaking sales and other scandals to report on in the world of the antiques and collectibles trade. So I'm here to bring you all the breaking news that already broke. So technically it's not breaking news, it's broken news. But we're going to go through it together, and quite possibly over the next couple of weeks, you're going to see some individual videos on these talking points. So first and foremost, what I want to bring to your attention is we have a new record-breaking sale in the world of sports card collecting / investing. Now, if you've been living under a rock up until this point, you're probably not aware that the most valuable sports card in existence up until this sale that I'm going to be talking about in a minute was, of course, the famed 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle rookie card. I know a lot of you disagree that it's the rookie card, but that's what the auction description says. Wink, wink. So that card sold for $12.6 million at auction, and it was graded by SGC in 9.5 condition. Now, up until this very point, that card was the most valuable sports trading card in existence. Well, hold my gluten-free beer, because lo and behold, Heritage Auctions auctioned off a 2007 dual Logo Man autograph card, of which there is one of one only in existence, meaning it was created with mass-produced scarcity. More on that in a bit. And it sold for $12,932,000, and it now tops, of course, the, pun intended, $12.6 million Topps Mickey Mantle rookie card as being the most expensive card in history. Now, the buyer was leaked. For those unaware, if you guys know who Kevin O'Leary is of Shark Tank fame, he's also known as Mr. Wonderful because he's not really Mr. Wonderful. He just goes by that moniker. Anyway, he and two other individuals bought the card as a quote-unquote investment. Now, my email box, my social media accounts are all full of people wanting me to discuss this. I am going to do a separate video on this, rest assured, but keep in mind, this card was created utilizing mass-produced scarcity. Anytime the manufacturer limits the amount of product in existence, even if it is just one of one, that means the item was created out of mass-produced scarcity. Now, to be fair, this card was signed by both Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Now, Kobe Bryant, of course, unfortunately is deceased. So yes, this card does have value. I don't want to diminish that. But what I am going to tell you is you still have to be leery, get it, Kevin O'Leary? Leery about items like this that sell for a significant premium. So it's going to be interesting to see what this card does in the future. Will it top the almost $13 million price point that was paid for it today in the year 2025? This is anyone's guess. I will tell you right now, cardboard, whether it's sports cards, whether it's Magic the Gathering collector edition booster boxes, whether it's Pokemon cards, the market for cardboard is red hot in the antiques and collectibles trade. Again, we are going to be doing more videos on this. I just wanted to get in front of all this because a lot of you are messaging me consistently on a lot of these record-breaking sales. Now, another record-breaking sale that we have to discuss. For those unaware, LCG Auctions they're kind of a smaller auction company, but they are really making a name for themselves, especially in the world of collectible, graded vintage toys and related items and collectibles. They auctioned off a Masters of the Universe Castle Grayskull playset in AFA, Action Figure Authority, 90 condition. And the opening bid was $10,000. The final auction price hammered for $209,000, a little bit more than $209,000. It was actually $209,409.60, if you want the exact amount. Now, this is completely insane, in my opinion. There are different variants to this type of factory sealed Castle Grayskull playset. There is a no-back version, there's an 8-back version, there's a 12-back version, which refers to how many characters or figures are shown on the back of the box. The one that sold was a 12-back version. It was the highest graded in existence. There are, however, and just keep this in mind, there's roughly 51 other of these play sets across all different variants that have been graded by AFA. AFA 90 is the highest grade possible, though. And I've been telling you guys for the longest time now, vintage toys are pretty much taking the antiques and collectibles trade by storm right now. It was really, up until this point, honestly, it was pretty much Star Wars leading the way. Vintage Kenner Star Wars toys and play sets. Now it looks like some of these other toy lines, Masters of the Universe, Transformers, G.I. Joe, they're gaining steam as well. This market is red hot. If you own any factory sealed toys, action figures from the late 1970s, the 1980s, the early 1990s, if they are in near mint condition and they're worth getting graded, if you're ready to let go, now may be a good time because this market is insane. Now this brings me to another talking point that we're going to have to discuss. I don't know if you guys follow like classic car auctions, anything related to auto auctions. It is quite interesting if you guys ever have a chance to watch some of those auctions, some of the high-priced bidding wars that open up under classic cars, people that are trying to collect and invest in that market. There's a lot of risks in that market. I don't recommend the average person or even somebody with a higher than average net worth start investing in classic cars because the maintenance costs, insurance costs, all that eats into your return on investment. But what I will tell you, there's an interesting, I don't like to use this term, but I'm going to use this term, quote unquote, possible bidding scandal that was uncovered at the recent Mecum auto auction. What kind of happened is, and you can kind of see the video out there if you follow any of this on social media, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, even on YouTube, the auctioneer slammed the gravel down and he announced that the item was sold. And then he realized that bidding was still intense, so he started taking bids. So he kind of went in one direction, announced the item was sold, and then started still taking bids on the item. Well, as you can imagine, social media, rightfully so, erupted in furor over this, claiming that this is definitely something, at the very least, unethical, if not illegal. So I don't know the full fallout on this. I haven't even had time to check if Mecum Auto Auction responded to the allegations as to what was happening. But this is very interesting. I am possibly going to do a video on this. I want to give time for Mecum Auto Auctions to respond. I also want to make sure that I get my facts completely straight before I do a video like this, because obviously Mecum Auto Auction is a very respectful auction company that deals in classic cars and, of course, investment grade cars. So I know a lot of people that have bought cars through their auction site. So I do want to give them a chance to respond and see what they're going to say about this. Last but not least, I do want to talk a little bit about my recent Pokemon video, which seems to have ruffled a lot of feathers. For those unaware, about a week ago, I put out a video. It was a 1 a.m. rant video entitled Modern Era Pokemon Cards Are in a Speculative Frenzy, Not a Speculative Bubble. And I can't even keep up with the amount of comments that were getting hit with that video alone, with emails, with messages I am receiving. So most likely what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to do a full standalone video where I try to professionally and with a lot of integrity answer your questions, answer your comments on some of the feedback I got throughout that video. One of the comments that I got that I do want to respond to, because this I was a little bit laughing under my breath. There was a person that came in the comment section and really wanted to argue with me. And they said, Sean, you don't understand. Evolving Skies booster boxes are going to be $10,000 in 5 years' time. Now, for those unaware, Evolving Skies is probably the clear winner of when we talk about the value, the insane value of modern era Pokemon products. An Evolving Skies booster box, not a case, just one box right now on the secondary market sells for $2,500. Well, if you are certain that in 5 years, this particular box that is now selling for $2,500 is going to be worth 10 grand, why aren't you leveraging every asset you have to pretty much buy more of these booster boxes? Let me give you a hint. I'm educated in finance, and in finance, there's something called the rule of 72. You can look this up. On average, money in the stock market, like if you open up a total stock market index fund, an S&P 500 index fund, a total world stock market index fund, if you had any of those assets and you put $10,000 in any of those accounts, the rule of thumb is that money should double pretty much every 7 to 10 years. So this person talking about Evolving Skies, if you truly know that an Evolving Skies booster box is going to go from $2,500 to $10,000 in as little as 5 years, that's a bona fide home run for you. So if you really believe that, why aren't you leveraging all your assets and putting all your money in Evolving Skies booster boxes? It makes no sense to me. Some of the outlandish comments like that I got in that video, and that's why I am going to do a video talking about that. There's a lot of confusion as well from some of the videos that I've been producing recently when we talk about mass-produced scarcity or when we talk about the optimal collecting grade. There's a lot of people that still do not understand the basics of these concepts, and that's okay. We're all at different levels. We're all trying to learn this. We're all trying to navigate through the brave new world where collectibles are now considered a prominent and valid alternate asset class. And I got to end on this note. If you are looking to invest in these markets, please do so carefully. Please understand that collectibles work best as a diversification hedge in a well-balanced financial portfolio. They do not work well if you're going all in and that is your only asset class. This also applies to some of the crazy comments I got in cryptocurrency, gold, silver investing. There was a person that came in the comment section, wanted to argue with me, claiming that gold and silver is the greatest asset class ever. I'm sorry, if you look at the actual numbers, the returns on investing in gold specifically lag behind that of an S&P 500 index fund or even real estate for that matter. And silver is even worse. So you really can't argue that precious metals are the greatest asset class when all the numbers, all logic shows the reverse opposite. More to come on all of that. I just wanted to stay ahead of all this breaking news. Like I said this before on this channel, there's never a dull moment in the antiques and collectibles trade. I could literally put out videos 2-3 times a day and still not run out of things to talk about. This market, these markets are massive and there's a lot of moving parts. And all of these markets, when we break it down from the standpoint of comparing, say, like rare coins or classic cars or vintage toys or Pokemon cars, all these markets are performing in different ways at any given time. This is what makes the antiques and collectibles trade so fascinating, my friends. So if you are interested in learning more about investing or the basics of investing in the antiques and collectibles trade, please consider subscribing to this channel. That being said, I will see you in another upcoming video. Thank you for your time.